Test. Well, it's becoming a digital world whether people like it or not. I apologize for not being on here, putting videos on or scripts for the last few days, but I have been learning a ton, and where I've been going is into Python. I've been doing a LinkedIn course through a fellow by the name of Grant, and I would recommend it to everyone. They deal specifically with scripts that are tied to Rhino .geometry, so Rhino Common. And what I'm going to show you is basically I'm learning how to not only do the basics of simple loops and pulling things out and building some maths and doing things like that, but I'm going deeper and farther into it in a sense of gaining access to trees. So how do you learn from trees? And like I said, I'm not going to share the scripts on here. I just wanted to show you what the progression of that is. So if we go from 181 to 182, if I could find the script, it's got to be around here somewhere. Let me close out 181 without saving it. I think we're on to, let me go here. Where is it? 5, 4, 3. Let's just go into 3. You see, basically, then I'm getting access to lists. I'm learning things like there's parallel computing actually happening on these nodes to speed things up within Python, which is just amazing. If you can tuck this into your scripts and do some fancy things with it, and it will speed up through Python if you can use parallel. You need to be quiet, Ella. Thank you. You want to get in here and find out that you can reduce your speed times, and this is actually moving pretty slow. I don't have it running yet. But, Ella, out of here, please. I'm recording. Out of the room, Ella. Thank you. And it will speed up your scripts. It does get down to 3 times faster when it runs. I'll get a little slowdown here. But you can see that I'm actually piping controlled data as I move through here. So we'll jump in, and things are crazy with everybody going back to school and kids at home. Here's where I'm actually getting into finding and evaluating surface. So I'm doing things that I usually do in Grasshopper in a nice Python node from a cluster of points and evaluating that. I'm also producing surfaces. From that surface, I'm able to make those evaluations. If we go on to 6, where's 6, 7, 4, 3, 6. You see here, now I'm getting into paneling, which is absolutely fantastic. And all of this data is actually coming from sources of actually an Excel file, which is pretty cool, and bringing in data like that. So actually, I think it's a file I actually imported from my own library. Pretty fantastic stuff. So not just paneling, you want to make this smooth. So you're actually going to go into UV lines. The next one that I've made a transition to, and this is, I would recommend getting this. I can control my data line, my information in my tree data. I can script in the breakpoint of where I want this thing to be. So I'm controlling lines the same way I was using relative item and shifting paths and path mappers in Grasshopper. So I'm doing that in Python now. Ella, enough. Thank you. Quiet down. That's the one thing I'm doing now. Totally aside from all of that, Python scripting, Python scripting, Python scripting, Python scripting, I am actually also into, let me get in here and grab it, open a file. I am dealing with a challenge I've set myself through ARA, and I'm jumping in and taking a look at PJ Chen's, sorry, Rhino tutorials online, which are free, and I'm trying to take, now mind you, I'm not very efficient at it, and I know ARA Jewelry that I'm working with is doing it in a much more smooth fashion, but I'm able to go in and write scripts from not only their clusters. Ella, quiet down a bit, please. Thank you. I'm able to take those scripts and put them into what I can conceive of how I would do a gem bezel. It doesn't really work, I'm learning, and it's not that efficient. And then I'm going through and building the handles to that. But I think it's going to be very interesting to following the algorithms of PJ Chen's tutorials as a jeweler and trying to translate into those into Grasshopper for development that I want to do for ARA jewelry. So very exciting time. You can see what's happening here. Busy with full time with Ella at home on a Monday, and school starts up next week at KCAI. So I am working 1,000 things at once, along with still commissions and things out in the world. So I'll try and correct things. I hope you find this valuable in the direction I'm going, and stay tuned. There'll be new things in the future.